In this lesson, we're going to learn the white belt one-step sparring 1 to 3. So the first 3 one-step sparring techniques. So your opponent is going to be facing you, and your opponent is going to start in a walking stance. Every time when we do a one-step sparring technique in this section, your opponent is going to step forward and throw a middle punch as the attack. So it's going to be a right middle punch in walking stance. The defender is going to start in a ready stance. So you can imagine I'm facing my opponent. For number 1, first things first, the defender goes into a walking stance and key-ups to indicate that they're ready to attack. The defender then key-ups when they are ready for the attacker to attack. So, and then I defend and I counterattack. So for number 1, the defense against their attack is middle block. So this blocks the punch. And then from there, reverse middle punch with no step. And key up. Always key up on the finish, the final attack. And then you come back to Chung B stance, again, ready stance afterwards. So number 1, like I said, your attacker is going to be over here facing you, and they're going to step forward and punch. I'm defending, and then counterattacking. So that's number 1. Number 2, same attack. The defense, speed punch. So middle block, stepping into a sitting stance, 45 degrees, and speed punch. So punch and retract. And your target here is going to be the kidney, the front side of the body here on your attacker. You'll see it when you're working with a partner. So once again, number 2. That's number 2. And finally, number 3. Again, same attack. They're going to punch. Moving to the left side, speed punch once again. And in sitting stance, 45 degrees facing the opponent. And once again, you're going to be punching to the side, and this time to the side and a little bit behind here. So, going over these 3 again, number 1. Number 2. And number 3. And this idea of speed punch, where you hit and retract, we'll get into that a little bit more later, but it does a different type of damage to the body. Instead of hitting to a point and coming to a stop, when you hit and then pull back, you can actually do even more internal damage to certain parts of the body when you strike and retract. So we'll get into that information later, but for now, that is the distinction there between a regular punch and what we call a speed punch, where you hit and pull back. Looking at that from the side. So, side view. Number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Okay? So that is the one-step sparring, first 3 movements in the one-step sparring section for white belt.